Hey guys, what's going on? This is Pants R Dragon, and today we'll be doing a little video for top 5 best AD carries for solo queue as of patch 6.2. Now this is where Jhin was released, and in this video I'll be talking about Jhin a little bit, even if he's not in the tier list. But of course, you gotta watch the video to see if he's in the tier list or not. And I also haven't done a video like this since patch 5.23. And I actually haven't done a video like this since like 3 months ago. So that was a long time ago. So I think I gotta update this tier list. And with all that being said, let's get started. Alright, so coming at number 5 is going to be Misfortune. She received a big nerf to her E, where they reduced the damage of it. And so before you'd cast that in lane, it would proc Thunderlords and also do a bunch of damage. It was the easiest harass tool for, just driving enemies out. They also reduced the love taps AD ratio in early game, but the thing is, her mid game and late game is still strong. The slow coming from her E is, well, it's still 60%. So it's still great utility, and her ultimate, it still does tons of damage once you get some AD. And she still scales very well into the late game. So yeah, she's still a pretty good champion. Alright, so next up we have Kalista. So Kalista is a champion who still has a very good laning phase, although has been nerfed several times with her E and the mana refund. Definitely when they added in, you gotta get 2 kills on a minion to actually get the full refund for your mana. That definitely hurt her because now you can't execute a minion and then press E on a person for some free harass. But at least they reduced the mana cost by 10 and you still have the cooldown reset on kill. So in that sense, it's not too bad. Besides, her base attack speed is still high, so going an attack speed build on her is still really efficient. And yeah, her early game and mid game are really good. Just watch out for that late game because she kind of falls off a little bit. Next up we have Lucian. Lucian is, well, in the preseason and season 6, a pretty good champion, with him dashing all over the place in teamfights, having a strong laning phase, and the calling doing more damage in season 6 than it was in season 5. Along with going a more cooldown reduction build with the Essence Reaver and cooldown reduction boots, he can be very mobile and dish out a lot of spells, especially his heavy hitting Q. So yeah, he's pretty good, although if he doesn't do well in the early game, he's not really going to have a good time since his mid game doesn't really offer too much utility, and he'll probably just have to wait until he gets to his late game build. If maybe he just got like dumpstered in the early game. But overall, a really meta champion right now. Next up we have the Blue Ezreal. So Blue Ezreal is really strong right now because of the Iceborne Gauntlet. It is a strong item right now because of the buffs they gave it to Season 6, where they removed the AP and added in some armor and cooldown reduction. So Blue Ezreal is really good against physical damage AD comps. And he also scales very well into the mid game because of how well he can kite, dealing a bunch of damage with his poke, and overall being a pretty tanky AD carry. Once he gets Maw or Mercurial Scimitar, he becomes even tankier, gains, AP. So yeah, it's just really hard to kill him. Although I will say he does fall off late game because, well, in his build he doesn't really have any crit, and most other AD carries will be building crit and like attack speed and stuff like that. So his strongest point would be the mid game. And next up is going to be Corki. So some people take hybrid pin on him. Some people do a basic AD carry rune page. But who knows, but basically why Corki is really good right now is because of how much damage he just dishes out with his kit. Having mixed damage on his auto attacks plus his E, reducing armor and magic resist makes him deal a lot of damage. And of course the precision mastery helps with that too, and having sorcerer shoes is like having 3/4 of a ghost blade, and yeah, he just does so much damage. I don't even know how the changes to him made him super bursty, because it does boggle my mind how he doesn't do true damage anymore, and his ultimate's damage got nerfed. The only thing that contributes to his damage is Sorc shoes, and I guess the E buffs too. But yeah, he just does tons of damage, and he also has the package, which is basically a free kill or flash every 5 minutes. The best part of it is it gives you 2 W's, so you can go suicide into the enemy team and then W out. Although of course that's very risky, but it also gives you tons of mobility, so you can roam mid, get a kill, go back bot lane. That is also why he is a mid laner too, because his playstyle kind of revolves around the package, ganking people, and also levels is really good with him. But yeah, even if I consider the true damage being removed and the ultimate's base damage being lowered, the package just offers so much utility and is easy for picking up free kills around the map. And next up we'll be doing honorable mentions, and first up is going to be Draven. Yeah, he's pretty cool. Play him if you're really good at catching axes. If you don't, avoid him. He's like one of those champions you become a main of. Alright, so next up is going to be Graves. Although I do think he is a jungler, he can also be played as an AD carry just because he's just so OP right now. But I don't really think he fits AD carry role because his laning phase is it's basically trash unless he gets a kill or just like goes even in the laning phase because he's a beefy, tanky AD carry. And when he comes into the mid game and late game, he's got all that armor, magic resist, and he has like a lot of burst damage, so he can like basically explode the squishies if he has a bunch of armor penetration. But I feel like he's more for the jungle or top lane. Now we're going to be doing a new segment for this video, and we're going to be answering questions from my last AD carry tier list. And first up, Tense96 asks, what's your opinion on Twitch? Personally, I think he is pretty good, just has a rough lane phase. After that, he is a beast. His refresh on his Q makes his attack speed pretty much steroid constantly if used right. I think he got a buff in the preseason, but he's just a very weak champion, I feel. Especially with Vision Wards being more constant in Season 6. And I've also really never seen him this season. And next up, Eric Stoppo asks, Jinx not even in honorable mentions? Again, I've not seen her this season. The only AD carries I saw this patch were Ezreal, Corki, Lucian, and Callista. It's even rare that I see Miss Fortune. So she's just not the flavor of the month champion, I guess. No one's really playing her, so kind of sucks. It's kind of weird, but I think she's still somewhat decent. And now for the final segment, we'll be talking about Jhin. Jhin, okay, so I hyped him a lot on the PvE server. I would do really good with him every game, but if you ever watched my video called Jhin Off or Not, what I say there is I always think something is OP on the PvE server, and whenever it does come to live, it's usually not OP like a Lowy, and in this case, again, Jhin. I usually have a tendency of saying something is OP when it's really not, but it's because my opinion comes from just not being, well, you know, the average player. So everything that feels really snowbally is something OP to me. In this case, his win rates right now are, well, rather low, 44% and 47% globally. And people are building him correctly, so either people don't have to play him yet, or he's just not good right now. So I'm gonna wait until next patch to see where he's at. But as of now, I don't recommend playing him. He does seem a little underpowered because, well, his laning phase isn't too great. But yeah, that is it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully this video was very useful to you. And comment below on what champion you feel is honorable mention worthy or even top 5 worthy, and there'll be a little discussion in the comments below. And then definitely on the next AD carry tier list, I'll try and talk about some of the champions you guys have mentioned and why they aren't in the tier list, so you guys can get, you know, some of my thoughts. And yeah, make sure to leave a like if you did like this video, and if you didn't, make sure to leave a dislike. And consider subscribing for future videos like this. And I am Panther Dragon, and I'll see you guys next time. Slow the roof off the place.